believe we're live. Let's try and get something up, man.
Yeah, that's
Someone was ringing straight away, wait.
Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
you're right, yeah. That's what you are.
I'm not hot.
Let's get this guy on. Let's get this guy on Facebook.
Craig, can you can you see my phone right now? On the camera?
Can't tell you that, but
Let's do this now.
no.
Cool. Well, you trying to do something?
Done the number. You.
Number 4. Oh, so you need to be able to read it out. Just use your personal one.
Alright, cool. Let people know when we go live. I think we're live, guys.
You are definitely live, Greg. Can you use the red one, please?
Hmm?
Can you use the red one, please?
Why? Red, black, and then express barrel.
Why are you so extra? Alright,
Let's get that quick. This is the part was cringy at the beginning of the video, so we need to cut this bit out.
It's part of us.
I don't think it is.
It is.
No, I don't think it is.
Right, Michelle said we're live. What's going on, Mish?
Michelle. She's not my girl. Okay.
I was gonna say that was gonna be awkward. But I had to back the thing still. Alright. Right, man's not hot. Shantae, what's good? Hey.
Hey, that planting line cracked me up, blood.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Alright, cool. We're just waiting for a few people to kind of just get logged on. Yeah, we just get settled.
And
while everyone's there, can you please share?
Yeah, do that. That would be a good thing.
Yeah, dump it in the group as well for those who are out there.
Dump it.
Yeah.
Stunt dog in the building. Stunt dog.
Stunt it.
Alright, cool. Couple more. We want to talk about this. That's going to be nuts.
That's good.
Yeah, so everybody should be tuning in now, man. Kids should be
coming in.
put to bed. Should have your bev in your hand.
If your kid's not put to bed, then you need to answer
Yeah, it's a problem. So.
You need to answer questions.
Why we really need to get them? Let's just allow them, man. Like you always getting at the parents, man. Shit.
Not getting at the parents.
Ask some questions.
I'm just saying, children shouldn't be awake at 9 o'clock.
Man's not here.
Man needs to be hot though. That's okay.
You gotta rate that, bro. You just committed to it, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
So what do you want to say? I'm hot. I'm not hot.
Man's not hot, innit?
I am not hot.
That's not how you do it, bro.
Man didn't say man.
Yeah, we're going to get going now. Yeah, unlock that one, please.
It's unlocked at the moment.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Alright, let's come on, let's do this.
Alright, cool. Let's do this thing, yeah?
Yes.
Right, grown Arse Men in the building. Make some noise. Hey, wake up, man. Wake up. Right. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Got a big show for you today. Obviously, before we kind of announce what it is, let's introduce who we got around the table. We need to get energy up there. You lot must be wondering what's in this cup. For him, it's Horlicks right now, yeah, because he's a boring old man right there, yeah. But yeah, let's introduce who we got. Right from
life.
Alright, Sharpers, what's going on? Introduce yourself, man.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's Rakes. What's good?
Now, I don't know if you can see this, but check the seam though.
Scene I hope that comes out. I really do.
It's sharp, I ain't gonna lie.
It's essential to any shirt.
You had starch when you was pressing that though. You had starch.
No,
I don't lie.
You just gotta have your technique right.
I don't lie. You put starch. Yes, it's Mr. D, it's Darren, it's the guy with the hat.
Hat man.
AKA man's not hot. I'm just committed to the look.
Man's not hot. Yeah.
Jumper, t-shirt, jacket. Fuck it.
Yeah. What's a jumper t-shirt?
You got a t-shirt on.
Hey, introduce yourself, man. Wake up. Let's go.
Yeah. It's the Pan-African, AKA The Way.
Obviously, you got myself, the host, Craig. What's going on, people? Let me just obviously big up my YouTube people as well, yeah? Anton, what's going on? Dion, big up yourself. Hannah,
big.
Hey, we see you. Leah, what's going on? Chas, Jack P. I really want to know what Jack P's name, because I can't say that smoothly. What's Jack P's name? Say it, give me a name. You don't have to give me a government.
So you can't say Jack P smoothly?
No, but it's Jack and it's bare P's. I don't even know if I'm saying the name properly.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's the way it kind of comes up on the thing.
Jack P.
And Sipping Malibu. Them names there, yeah? I know your mum didn't tell you that. She might have been sipping it. But anyway, Carleen as well. What's going on?
Right.
Today, guys, we've obviously got our show. We've been promoting it and pushing it. It's about conforming, and especially conforming in the workplace. I just want to give you guys a little bit of background and history about where it came from and how we started kind of getting into the argument. I'm going to keep it real today as well, yeah? I personally got made redundant, yeah, from my job. It wasn't that I was rubbish at my job. I just got made redundant, yeah? Yeah, so I got made redundant. So obviously I was starting to look for a job. And at this point, I was kind of in a bit of a panic mode because I had never been out of work. That's just not really my thing, yeah? So I spoke to Marlon, yeah? Marlon was also in between jobs at that time, so that was the guy that I wanted to speak to.
Them lines.
Yeah. Nah, he was in between jobs, man. Let's keep it real. He was in between jobs. So I was kind of speaking to Marlon and we were speaking about the interviewing process and whatnot. So it then came up, and I'm cutting a long story short, that basically Marlon, as you can see, normally has a part in his hair. Yeah.
Not normally, but
So basically, for the interviews that he's getting, you obviously can see he's wearing a suit. It's not just for the show. He wore that today, yeah? Because he's got a job now. I have to tell you that. He's got a job now, yeah?
He ain't broke no more.
Yeah, so, but basically he was saying, should I grow out my part in order to go on the interviews? So then we started to talk about hair and appearance in terms of interviews and how you can be perceived, yeah? So basically, me and Marlon was like, well, you know what? I've got to, well, me personally, I can't speak for Marlon. I'm saying, I've got to feed my kids, yeah? I will do whatever it is that I've got to do. I normally wear a beard, quite a big beard, getting a bit of length, yeah? Shout out to the beard crew. So I was saying to ourselves, like, look, people judge people on that. I would cut it down or cut it off in order to get my job. So these two, gentlemen, yeah, these two gentlemen,
thank you, I like the word.
Nah, these two gentlemen said, well, nah, bruv. You're conforming, you're not being yourself, you're not this, that, and the other. And I'm saying, well,
You're letting us down.
You're letting us, that's it. You're letting us down. Like, them ones. Yeah?
Don't do that, because when you told Marlon's side of the story, you told it like with
Alright, but I'm saying the story.
Right, good. Don't just tell
Alright, it's my story. Let me
tell
finish it. Yeah? So then man was like, yeah, you're letting the team down, like, no, bro, blah, blah, blah. And kind of looked at me like, rah, man's a sellout. That's how I felt anyway. They didn't say that. But they looked at me like, I'm a sellout.
No, bro.
So anyway, let me not go, I'll tell you how I feel.
Fuck off.
I didn't say because you said it.
I'm with you. That's how
I felt.
Right,
Yeah, so basically, we was obviously going on and on and on. And they was just basically like, no, you should be yourself. And if that's the case, we should all kind of come together and just stand up. And I'm saying, well, hold on a minute. We're going into their world. Yeah. The corporate world or wherever it is, suit and tie, you're going to be judged. So therefore, in order to get your foot through the door, you're going to have to do certain things. And basically, this is why we're here. Yeah. We can go left and we can go right with it, but that's kind of where it came from, man. Does anyone want to take over? I feel like I'm talking.
Sorry, I just want to say thank you for everyone that shared and continue to keep sharing. The phone number that if you want to call in is 07539 955. What is it? 253. You know, if you can't get your views across in writing, call in.
Yeah, because I do get a lot of people saying, like, I watch the show's great, but I don't type because it's once a point's made, it's long to.
No excuses.
You got a phone line, yeah? The phone line. Let us hear your opinion.
Listen, Craig's story is great and all that, but it weren't as it didn't go down.
I really like the way you said a story. You made it sound like
it weren't like that. Yeah. For me, I put it across like this: you go into an interview and you give the best version of you. If you believe that version has a part in, then you go into the interview like, I'm not taking out something that I believe makes me look better or presents better for someone else's opinion. It doesn't make any sense to me. If that's the best version of me, then that's what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to take out something that I believe makes me look the part.
Right. So let me just give you an example. Let me give you an example. Yeah, I get that, but and this is a true to life story, and I'm not trying to put anyone's business out there. I'm putting it down because your business I'm putting it out. Yeah. But no, this is real. Yeah. Darren went for an interview. Yeah. Successfully got the job. Yeah. I happen to know the person that he was being interviewed by, and when he was giving me this feedback, this was a Caucasian male. Yeah. Yeah, and he was telling me like, obviously, yeah, he came across well, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yes, he got the job. And he said to me, however, next time, tell your mate to take out the earrings. Yeah. And my thing was, wow, okay. Is it now conforming if you remove that earring for an interview, get the job, find out that the job is okay to wear earrings, put it back in, everyone's cool. Or is it like Dwayne says, no, you got to show the best version. Would you jeopardize the job for a... I can't swear.
Right, all right. Let me respond because he's talking about me. Right. Now, for me, yeah, I'm not saying, at the end of the day, when you go into an interview, for me, everybody has to look presentable and everybody has to look professional. Yes? 100% agree with that. Now, if you look at Marlon now, does Marlon not look presentable or does he not look professional? Yeah?
100%.
Right. Now, does that parting determine whether he gets that job? Should that parting determine whether he gets that job?
We're not talking about should. This is what I'm trying to say. We're not talking about should.
Okay,
no, you're 100% right. It shouldn't.
But listen to what I'm saying to you though. His appearance is professional and his appearance is I want this job. The parting doesn't determine how well he can do the job, and he's not looking at, like, you can't look at a man and look at, and he's got a party and say, well, I'm going to judge this man, and this man can't do this job for whatever reason.
What does it even mean?
Exactly.
What does it even mean?
This is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't. What you're saying is correct. It doesn't mean anything, but it does. You understand? It shouldn't mean anything, but it does. People are judged, and it's unfortunate, and they shouldn't be, but it is the way of the world.
This is how I see things. Yeah. Now, if we all decided, that we're gonna just remove things where we're comfortable with, and we're gonna take out airing with it, that means at no point will we ever be accepted for the way that we are. Yeah. If we then decided, you know what, this is me, and we all decided this, then guess what? They have to accept it if we were all on the same page. The problem is we ain't all on the same page. You've got some people like you guys who are happy to conform, and some who are not, which makes it difficult for the ones who are not prepared to conform. Yeah? But at the end of the day, if we all decided we are not conforming to these kind of degrees, then they have to accept you. I'll give you an example, Let's do it. It's a bit extreme. Gay people, For the longest time, people have turned up their nose to them, They've had no, like, gay was taboo, They didn't say, we're gonna hide them on the shoulder. They kept coming out and and guess what? They have been accepted into society to the point where it's all over your goddamn TV because they are refusing to conform.
Excellent point.
Right. Let me give you an example now, using your same gay point that you wanted to use, shout out to all the gay people as well, being nothing against them, whatever. Right? If someone, let's just say, for example, was extremely camp, extremely camp, but they go into an interview and they see, he's a geezer, hey, do you think, me, and I'm trying to be this gay person who's very camp right now, would it be so bad of me to try and tone down, my campness, or I don't want to call it gayness, but my campness, in order to try and relate and get my foot through the door? Because remember, I want something from him at this point. Do you understand what I mean? I'm not trying to say I've got to switch and not be who I am.
There's nothing wrong with trying to relate to them, but I'm kind of with Dwayne. If you're now adjusting your personality, I do think that's an issue. Now my thing with my parting, like, I didn't have a parting at the time, and when I'm going to the barbers and I know I've got an interview on Monday, I'm thinking, do I really need a parting right now? No, it's not. Yes, I believe I look better with one, but it's not really essential right now. My whole thing on the whole party.
Why is it not essential? This is the reason.
Right, right.
Because you just said you look better.
Right. My thing is, I'm trying to limit the reasons why someone may judge me. And I think it's exactly. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Let me finish this point. And I need to read out some people because I want to respond to this point. I want to respond to this point. We got viewers as well.
I respond to this point. And one of the show would actually like to speak. My thing, shut up, man. Bro, come on.
Guys, come on.
So people are going to judge you, and they're not necessarily going to speak to you and ask you questions when they judge you. Now, if I'm trying to get a job, I'm not trying to give you reason as to why you're not going to let me through the door and judge me and not ask me a question because you're thinking, right, that line in his head means this or it means that. Like we live in an ignorant world now.
And how do you write that ignorance?
How do you write the ignorance? Bro, you have to understand. So for an hour they've seen me without a party. For the rest of the time, they get to know me and see me with a party. They know what.
That is not the point. That is not the point. All right, can I respond to you now? Can I respond?
You think you can make a change before getting it?
You're not making a change if you don't run the damn company.
Listen. Listen.
Hold on.
How
Listen.
can you get to the
Darren,
point
go on.
where you
Can I get some order, man?
Can I?
So if you never
Come on,
get
man. Alright, cool, man.
Can I
Go on.
respond? Yeah. What the problem is that there's people who are judging you who are not from your world. All right. Now, all of us here would look at you, see your partying, and not because we know you. Like I can see a guy on the road and see a guy on the road with partying and not judge you.
Nothing.
Right. It's from people who are not from your walk of life. Now, okay, cool. We judge people who are not from our walk of life. That's the reality. However, those people who are not from our walk of life need to understand that having a partying does not mean anything apart from I like the way how it looks at me. It doesn't determine how I do this job. It doesn't determine my character. It doesn't determine my personality. And if we always bow down to that, then those people are always going to judge. And it's everybody who's going into an interview is always never going to be able to have a party.
Well, right, listen, let me, this is what I'm saying. And listen, I'll stand up and clap for that. But it's just in some idealistic.
No, it's not.
Can I bring something? Don't do that. Don't tell me I'm not listening because I don't agree with you. Yeah? Don't do that. Let me read out what the people are saying. Yeah. Right. Shout out to everyone who's been putting their messages in. Right. Jackie. She said her name's Jackie. Yeah. Thank you very much. Reen. Rake's looking sharp. Standard for you, Reen. You know that.
Thank you.
So Rake's could be wearing a plastic bag. Yeah. Right, Dion has said, interviews are about putting your best foot forward, providing an image that an employer feels comfortable with. I think I look best in a low-cut top, but that's not work appropriate.
That's not professional.
That's not professional either.
But listen, I'm trying to get the point from that.
Bullshit, I don't hear that.
Because you're just listening to it literally, man.
Bro,
wake up, man.
No, it's not the same.
To that literally.
It's not the same.
Oh,
it's not a professional look. Why would you go there with your tits out?
She's not saying that. She's not saying that,
Fuck
bro.
out of here. I'm not having
She's not saying that.
but the thing about it is though, and interestingly, there will be some employers that will give that a pass. Will give a girl with a low top a pass, yeah, and would look on Marlon with a partying and say no, I'm going to judge him because he's a gangster. He's got a party in his hair.
Big up, Damien. Thank you for sharing the post, man. We appreciate that. Right, Rena's also said, in an interview is about what comes out of your mouth, not your appearance. But sadly, that is how some of us are judged on. And this is my point, yeah? And I just want to emphasize the fact of everyone is with this whole stand up, stay strong and all that. Fantastic in theory. My thing is now, you're out of a job for 6 weeks. You got bills to pay, yeah? You're going to go in and you're going to tell me you're not going to make that one alteration in order to secure security for your family and all of that out of principle and all of no.
Can I say something?
In my view, no, you can't because I'm still reading, right? Couple more. Right. Couple more. Right. Jackie said, not going to jeopardize getting that job. I'll put a weave in for that job. And when I get it, I'll put those poetic justice braids in.
Can't read that.
It isn't fair. A lot of it is stereotyping, but that is how it is. And to a certain point, listen, I want to be clear. I totally don't agree the way it is, but I think I do agree with that.
But the fact that you're happy to conform for these small, minute details there is the problem. Yeah? Can we answer a question? Do you not feel if we were all on the same page, yeah, that we would have to be accepted?
100%.
Right, so that's it.
100%, but that's got to be across the nation. I'm sorry.
Right, we're part of the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Call me part of the problem. I am not going to be the one to jeopardize my family to make this change for these people and hope that everyone's going to jump on board. I'm not doing that. But it's not. You can judge me for it.
You want me to go to an interview with bare patterns and shit in my hair? Shut up, bro. You want me to go?
Who said patterns?
No one said patterns. So when I don't have this pattern, I might have.
Hold on. What man's gonna be funny? 1 second. Why not patterns? Say if he thinks patterns look better, that's your example.
Professional.
But patterns, you said it shouldn't be judged on that. What
I said
has his hairdo got to do with it? It's the way he expresses himself through hair.
Why me having patterns?
You sound like double standards.
Because then if that's what if you're gonna go that far and say patterns, then you might as well say you could go to an interview wearing trainers and tracksuit bottoms.
No, that's not saying.
That's not saying.
Bruv, nobody in their right mind is going to an interview with whole heap of patterns in the back of your head. That is totally that is an extreme in comparison to a part.
Do you think any colours in women's hair is professional?
Sorry?
Do you think any women having colour in their hair is professional?
Do you know what? In my job, in where I work now, we've just employed a girl, and she came in with weave, and it was a different colour to her actual hair. Right? And she's employed.
Do you think that's it?
I personally, yeah. If that was me, I wouldn't do that because I don't wear colours in my hair. But if I wore colours in my hair and I felt I looked professional, then I would do it.
Why is that unprofessional? Why are patterns unprofessional, but different hair colours isn't unprofessional?
Thank you.
No, I'm saying to you.
Just be consistent.
This is what I'm saying to you.
I hear that.
Listen, if you're going to go into a workplace, yeah, with whole heap of patterns in your hair,
I'm not doing that.
yeah, that is for me. That is young. That's childish. That's schoolboy. Yeah, you can have a neat part in your hair and still remain and look and carry a professional appearance.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't do that with patterns in the back of your head, in my opinion.
My thing is, I'm not gonna not do them things so that we can make a change 5 years down the road. I'm trying to get a job now, innit? Like so.
So fuck your people, this you.
No, man, don't make it that. I hate when people
I'm
do
saying
that.
that's a fucking ignorant thing to say.
That's what you said.
No, shut up. Because at the end of the day, yeah,
You said.
shut up.
That's what you said.
Listen, I'm talking about an interview stage. I'm talking about an hour out of my life where I haven't had to have a party.
Why are you telling me
Now I'm working the rest of my time there, looking however I want to look. Now who's more likely to make the change? The guy that went to the guy that went. But how can you tell me? Are you telling me I don't interview people?
Because you're not employed.
I don't interview people.
Because you're not employed, they're making change. You're making change. You don't own the company.
I don't make the judgment. I'm
trying to say through a camera, yeah.
Bro, he thinks he owns the company. You don't make a change.
Bruv, you're a dickhead if you think that the only people that can make a change in a company are the ones that own it. That's a stupid thing.
If you think as an employee you're making change in the company, you're fucking deluded.
But what?
Right, listen, stop. I'm gonna read out some comments, yeah? These are sip your drinks. What's going on with the drinks though? Alright,
Man
cool.
thinks he gets
1
employed.
second, man, shut up! Jesus.
Let's go with that.
Yeah? Thank you. Right. Dion has said, when you get the job, you can then wear your earrings. I think this is in continuation to what she said, yeah? Don't be flippant. Yeah? Yeah, when you get the job, you can then wear your earrings, low-cut top, stitch in your head. You already got the job, so it's okay. Cool, that's her opinion. And don't take no, that's you just disagree.
No, you shouldn't take that chance. You just should do that from the interview and then maybe.
Businessman local.
Maybe not get that.
Can I raise a point?
Let me read a few more because we've dominated this. Yeah, we need to get these people involved. Right. Jackie has said, we all have many faces. Loads of gay black men put on another face at black barbershops and tone it down completely. Not necessarily always right, but yeah, I think that is right.
That's conforming in society.
It is.
But my thing is that I think we all do it.
The gays I know don't.
Sometimes you need to just get your foot in the door, then you can push the boundaries. I can't even say this guy's name, man. Kaepernick,
My guy.
came in talking about black rights, fist in the air during trials, he wouldn't have got the job. Thank you.
Why would he come in
Thank
speaking
you.
about black
Thank
rights?
you, thank
That doesn't
you,
even make
thank
any sense. What do you mean, thank you?
No.
What's he gonna come in?
Take the point out of it.
No, Craig. It doesn't even make sense.
Let's say in the crowd.
Can you understand the point? Can you understand the
In the
point?
trial, they ask you a question. You think in a football trial, they ask you about your political views?
Hold on. The point of the matter is,
Doesn't make sense.
we really and truly don't know what happened. And if he was asked that question, he more than likely, we don't know whether he would have responded and said black rights at that time. So that's a. I understand where you're going with that, but
Doesn't make sense. I've been to trials. That's not in football trials generally. They don't ask you about your political views.
No. The thing is, I understand the question. I understand what you're saying.
What are we in the nonsense about if?
Alright.
The reality is that will never ever happen.
Can I raise a point?
Your ignorant transcends to everyone.
Can I raise a point?
Shit, that don't make no sense.
Let me raise a point. Because so far we've been talking about patterns and we've been talking about aparting. Yeah. Now, whilst we've been talking about Marlon, that's not really significant. And what I want to talk about is something more significant, where people, for instance, like going to interview with a natural hair like an afro, and have been judged because they have an afro and don't have that and couldn't get that position because they've got afro, they've got locks or whatever it may be. Now, in situations like that, can you what do you say to that person? That they should straighten their hair, they should put a weave in?
No, I'm not saying that they have to do anything. I'm saying be aware. Be aware of the field that you're going into. If you know that you're going to be judged, in order for you to get where you are in this horrible, cruel and unfair world, you may have to be willing to make sacrifices and changes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should. If you live outside of that system, like my black brother right here, yeah, cool, do your thing. Have a bone in your fucking nose for all I care. It doesn't matter, yeah, because no one's gonna kind of judge you because you're not reliant on that system.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
And that's the fact that I'm trying to get across.
Let me ask you a question now. Craig, you've grown up your whole life, yeah? your dad put dreads in your hair. You got to 23 years old.
Hair, man.
Listen, I know you ain't got no hair. It's hard for you to imagine. I understand that. But you got dreads. You're 23 years old. You're looking for a job. Yeah? You love your dreads. Yeah? But let's face it.
It's a religion.
No. Take the religion outside of it.
Okay,
Forget the
alright, cool.
You love your dreads, yeah? And you understand that when you go into interview, you're going to be judged because of those things. Yeah? Because of your dreads. Are you just going to chop them all off?
Me, depending on how much they mean to me, I might have to adjust.
You've grown up your whole life with them.
You got to let me answer. Yeah? I've grown up my whole life with them. I love these things. Cool. I've got to understand I'm going to probably take a lot more knocks than he's going to take if I'm not willing to chop them off.
And you will. Yeah. So what are you doing? Are you cutting them off?
That's it. If I love them, I'm going to either keep going or I'm going to look for a different
That's my point. You keep going.
Right. My thing is, you didn't listen though. Or I'm going to go for a different avenue. I don't understand the point you made. I've answered it honestly, but I don't understand what impact that's had.
So basically, you're saying if you love,
if I'm not willing to conform, I might have to go a different direction. That's what it is.
But of course, he's asking you what would you do, and that's the thing. Obviously, you've given two answers, which there are only two answers. You would either keep them.
Okay,
or
I'll go the other way. I'll keep them and go the other way because they mean so much to me.
Okay, cool. So,
is that it?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I just wanted to know how far you were prepared to conform.
Alright, I'm gonna. Yeah. All right, cool. Let me read out some of these comments. Yeah. Right. Jackie has just said, yeah. I think we might have lost Facebook, you know, guys. Sorry, guys. We're trying to get back onto Facebook. Yeah. This comes down to racism. Let's be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Racist stereotyping by white owners about us. It's sad, but that's how it goes until black people want to wake up and take down white supremacy. And you know what? I think she's got a massive point.
Right. And this is the thing. Like, I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But like I said before, when you've got people from different walks of life, people will judge you. People, when they don't understand certain things, people will judge you. But in order to change that judgment, you have to take a stand, in my opinion. You have to take a stand. No, I'm not, Craig, I'm not saying to you, do you know what? Or Rate, for the sake of your partying, you should go without a job forever and not feed your son. Of course not. Like, we're not talking about that. But you will get a job. You will get a job. Like, there are people out there who understand that a person with a partying is not a gangster. He's not a bad and can fulfill a role competently. Do you understand? And that's what it's about. It's about taking a stand and saying, do you know what? This cannot continue to happen. And whether you like it or not, with the mind frame that you and Craig have, yeah, it will continue. Yes. And that is all I'm saying. That will continue simply because it's not breaking boundaries. It's conforming. And it might sound uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to hear, but that is what conformity is. Cool. Simple.
I conform for an interview.
Yeah, and I will continue to do so personally. Like you man, this is what I'm trying to say. Is it sounds?
No, it's not sounds. It's not sounds.
Hear what I'm saying?
It's not sounds. No. Because you've raised that point.
You just told me no.
You've raised that point. You told the people no before. You've raised that point already, and you've said it's an idealistic world, and it's not an idealistic world. Simple. It's if you look back in history, this is exactly what happens. People who break boundaries make change. People who don't break boundaries do not make change.
You know what?
Simple.
Big. Yeah. What change have you guys made? Where's the revolution happening? What are we doing to make this change? Because this is what kind of gets me every time is that people always talk about, yeah, it's going to take this, it's going to take that. All right, cool. What are you doing to instigate this change? To make this a fair place where we can go in, we can have our beers.
Do you know what I've done? I've gone into interview my earring.
He's refusing to conform to what you two
I'll tell you the reason why I'm not buying that. No disrespect to that. And you know what? I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that. If it's not about that,
but generally in interviews that I've gone in, I've majority of the times worn my earring
because that's what you feel the best version of you.
And like when I was younger, yes, I would take out my earring because obviously that's what you get. You get told. You get fed that. You have to look a certain way.
It takes everyone to kind of get into this and cool, but we sit here, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to you guys. We sit here and we criticize those people, One, we criticise them if they weren't in jobs and doing all they can to get jobs, but they do that. And then, we're talking about black people. Yeah, we would sit here as grown-ass men and we would criticise people if they weren't doing all that they could do to get a job. Yeah,
and we have spoken,
and we have. I'm sure we've
about that
before. So my thing is this. So now people are doing that.
But
we're doing what we have to do.
Though.
We're doing what we have to do to get into jobs.
Can I understand there's a difference there? Can I really? Dispute that? Are you going to allow me to dispute that? There's a difference in somebody applying left, right, and centre for jobs, getting interviews then, and not applying. Like when we're talking about cussing people who are not doing all that they can to get jobs, I'm talking about people who are sitting on their arse and not doing nothing. I'm not talking about somebody who has lots, who has afro, who has whatever, and is not conforming and not going to cut off that in order to get that position.
Can I say wrong? For me, yeah, what surprises me, yeah, is that we look at young children, yeah, and we expect them not to conform. Now, recently there was a young boy who was religious and had dreads. And every black person wants to make up noise about how he should be accepted in his school with his dreads. Yeah? But then on the flip side, they want to conform when they get to adults. It doesn't make sense to me. At the end of the day, if you want him to be accepted as a child, when he gets older, he should still be accepted as he is.
Should 100% agree. 100% agree.
And those who believe that when you get older, yeah, that you should make that change, okay, you've got to work out for your family, look out. Those who do that are part of the problem, yeah? Because if the vast majority of them are doing that, then guess what? Those who are willing to stand firm, they're going to get shunned aside because guess what? Everybody's not on the same page.
So can I, just to be clear, I just want to be clear because, you know, you made a good point. And I've got to use it in terms of me because that's what I can relate to best.
Cool.
Am I part of a problem because I shaved down my beard for an interview to get a job, got the job and grew it back? Am I part of the problem?
You're part of the problem is simply because, yeah, forget your beard, simply because...
How can you simply get the beard? That's
Let me say what I'm saying. Simply because you're not prepared to do what you need to do that makes you feel you're not better with a beard. Yeah? Mm-hmm. But because you're not happy to go ahead and just roll with that, yeah, you're conforming to what the white man considers you as what he feels that you should look like. And because of that, other guys have to fall in line. If they don't fall in line, yeah, with what you're doing, then they get shunned.
Right. So and can I just jump in on that? Because like you said, you mentioned like the idealistic view, yeah, and you've occupied a managerial position, yeah. As a manager, you have to fulfill the company's wish. You have to fulfill the company's policy. You have to toe the line with what the company wants. Now, if the company says, do you know what, Craig? We're going to allow you to do the interviewing, but we don't want no guys with partying. That is what you have to toe the line with. So as much as you lot are saying, oh, you can get in and make change, that once again, in my opinion, is an idealistic view.
All right, can I give you and you know what? It's a perfect example because it's happened. It's actually happened. I've got into a job where I'm interviewing people and all of a sudden these things that make all these differences, they don't mean shit to me. Yeah? And I employ people. Right. I can only do that when I'm in the job.
Can I say something?
No management come down and say that to you.
Can I say something?
I know, they're through.
Right, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But I'm not being funny, but we want to knock down the whole idea of Kaepernick being asked questions of political questions. But you want to say managers are going to say to me, actually, we're giving you control over interviews, but you can't. That's not reality.
Alright, let me run through a few comments, yeah, because Facebook people as well. I'm really sorry. I think we've lost your stream. I've just asked everyone to come over. Jackie has said I would cut dreads off for a job. I really would. Wow. Yeah. Let me try and get through these as well, guys. Let me try and get through these. Yeah.
Jackie boy,
I really would. I would work towards owning my own, and then I can dictate my look. I plan to open a black-owned grocery store in the near future. Shout out to you, Jackie, as well.
Respect you. I wish you all the best.
Shantae has said, good question, Craig. I think that was in regards to what you guys doing to instigate change. Dion has said, well, we've gone past that, by the way, it's cool. Yeah. Dion has said, taking a stand just so you can conform in someone else's world. Like Jackie said, it's about owning your own shit and making your own rules. Then you set the standard. That's exactly the point that I've been trying to make.
I like that.
When you're, and there's this point I was making with you, when you're outside the system, cool, like, create that, do those things, create those opportunities. And we don't do enough of that as people. I can sit here all day, but I'm in the unfortunate position where I am reliant on getting a job through the system to provide for mine. That's my main point. Anyway, you carry on. You're carrying, you've got to cut down off quick, you know. Alright, hold on, a couple more.
And you keep doing that, but anyway, go on.
Make a point, bro, because you're going to make a point.
Really? Go on.
No, carry on, bro.
What do you think? Come on.
Leah has said, I personally think that looking the part by making small changes is fine, as long as you're still comfortable and confident to be yourself. Leah, I'm with you 100%.
Yourself if you're not doing what you
I'm not myself, I'll cut down my beard.
You're not yourself if you are changing elements about you. If you feel that you are best with certain things and you're changing that, you're not entirely yourself. That's the truth.
So we're doing it again. So my personality,
the thing is,
your personality remains the same.
So me going
you're
to
making
and my
adjustments.
personality is exactly the same as normal, but I don't have a partner in my head.
You've made an adjustment already.
I'm letting us down.
You've made an adjustment. Okay. You've made an adjustment.
Let me carry on.
So Ray said earlier on that he's gonna not have a part in, and then he's gonna put a part back in his head when he gets a job, and this way he's gonna make change. Please explain to me how you, as an employee, is gonna make a change.
It's quite simple. I can make a quicker change by getting a job and then being in the company rather than being strong and constantly going to interviews, not getting a job and wondering why I'm not getting a job because I'm not.
It's nice you said that.
Because I'm then looking at myself thinking, am I doing all that I can do to actually get into the company? There's no point me constantly going to interviews and me not doing all I can to get in.
So you just give me all this wishy-washy stuff here.
Yeah.
But what on God's earth have you done? When you're in, what have you done? You're not doing anything. You got a part in now, so.
Let him
answer.
Are you talking about the job I'm in right now?
You said, yeah.
So the job I'm in right now.
You asked me what
have I done?
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. You have stated, yeah, that you are not prepared to carry yourself as you want to, yeah. But when you get into the building, yeah, you will, and you will then be able to make change. How? You haven't answered the question. How are you making change? You don't own shit. You are an employee. How are you making a change?
And this is what I don't understand. You do not have to own.
So answer the question. Forget that. Answer it.
I'm talking. You do not have to own a company to start having weight and having a say within a company.
That's nice.
So what are you doing?
But you still haven't answered the question.
Thanks.
How are you going to manage?
No, I don't want you.
Why? Because you don't want your question.
You can answer after.
Yeah, because you don't want your question answered.
Right now it's race time.
Craig.
You don't want your question answered.
Let him answer the question.
Right. So if I manage a team and I'm interviewing and I have control over who I bring in, I dictate what. Yes, there are certain stipulations that people must be employed in. That's all on paper. In terms of how a person looks, that is down to me.
Have you made a change?
Right.
I'm going to
go to.
How would that not
have not made a change?
Let me go to the stream. Dion makes a good point. She said, question. She said, I don't know how to read this right. Question equal. Right. Right. Now, her question says, are policy makers or protesters more likely to make change? Yeah, let me read that one more time. Are policy makers or protesters likely to make more change?
It all depends on the protesters' standpoint. If we are all, gonna stand, you look at Rosa Parks, yeah? If she decided not to come off that chair, yeah? Now, if black people didn't get behind her, guess what? Nothing would have changed. But 17,000 people in that state decided they're boycotting the bus. That made the change. Yeah? If they didn't do that, guess what? No change would have been made.
Alright, forget black people and the whole black argument right now. Yeah? Women. If we look back like 50, 60 years ago, women didn't have a say, didn't have any rights. Yeah? If all women decided, you know what, our position, our place is in the kitchen, is cooking and is cleaning, they would still be doing that today. And whilst you might say, oh yeah, that is idealistic, that is reality. This is what's happened. This is history. This is taken place. So you can't say this is what's happened. Do you know what I mean? So I understand the point that Dion is trying to make. And yes, but if you're in a position to make change, then of course you can make change. However, if you protest something vehemently enough, you will also make change.
Right. So therefore, you just brought it. So there's two. Basically, you're saying there's two ways to make change.
Unfortunately, Craig, yeah.
But hold on. Let me just finish on one point, and I'll come to you. Because what Dion is actually saying is, all right, cool. We're debating. We're saying, well, this is how we make change. You're letting us down. But if you're saying we can make change through this avenue, why are we letting people down? Is it because we're not doing it the way in which you expect, or things like that? Because, like you said, policy makers can make more change than just protesters.
Right. So as Rach said, Rach was saying basically, if he was the manager, then he's employing people. Yeah, you are employing people for a period of time. When you're no longer in that role, it goes back to how it was. So change hasn't been made. No, you're making an assumption. Don't do that. You're saying when you're no longer in that role, say if I'm in that role and I start employing I've got to use the black people or people of maybe not the expected appearance, and we start filling up the place, and then those people go on to replace me when I go on. Why is it just going to change when I go? You just made that assumption.
Is that an assumption? Is that an assumption? In the working environment, yeah, in managerial and CEO positions, do you know the breakdown of black people in managerial positions, CEO positions within the company? It's ridiculous. So is that an assumption? It's not an assumption. It's not an assumption.
It's an assumption because we're talking about one of us going into something and making a change. That's why it's an assumption. I'm not going to
changes from the top. Yes, changes from the top down. Thank you. Changes from the top. If Marlon is a manager,
but you said it's not from the top. You're saying that you should be making the change from before you even get in.
No, but I'm saying in order to force these companies' hands, that's what I'm saying to you. Change comes from the top, right? If you have Marlon, who's a magnificent manager, and he's employing people with patterns, people with partings, people with colour in their hair.
That's good.
Yeah? And then Marlon moves on. Or not even Marlon moves on, but the CEO of the company looks and says, you know what? There's too much of this is happening. Too much of this is occurring. What do you think is going to happen? Really and truly. And then when you look at the breakdown, when you look at what's happening there, when you look at the amount of ethnic people in CEO or high management positions, in comparison, it's not an assumption. That is what is happening, bro.
And it's less than a percent.
You're not even making any sense.
I'm not making sense.
No, I said I don't know about this.
Right. Marlon said I'm not making sense.
Let me get
I'll get your point. Right.
No, he said I'm not making sense.
So you've got a team of people with all different looks and whatever, and the CEO comes in and looks at it and says, "All right, he's not having this." Now, what does that have to do with how people are performing in their jobs? You were saying that we can't make changes, yeah. If a CEO comes in and sees all of that, but the work is fine. So what you're saying is they're now gonna say you can't interview, you can no longer employ people that look like this for no reason.
Breaks, the numbers do not lie.
Listen,
the numbers do not lie, bro.
I heard you the first time. What I'm saying is,
but we don't know the numbers right this second.
They're less than a percent, bro. It's reality.
What I'm saying, yeah. Let's say I'm employed now, yeah, and my work, I'm wonderful. Now, when they go to interview someone else and he does come in with a parting in his hair, they have less reason to judge them harshly because I'm an example of someone that looks like that. Is that not making a change?
That's because they like you.
It's not about them liking me. It's about them respecting what I bring to the job without because
unfortunately,
at the end of the day, a judgment they may have of someone is going to stay there until they have a better example to use it against.
Right. Okay, I get that.
And by me being in the company, I provide that.
Okay, well, sorry, go on.
All right, let me just read out a couple here. Dion has said changes are definitely made when you get a job. As an employee, I've made a black documentary and started the organization, I think she's saying First BAME Network, BAME, if I'm not saying it right. Changes can definitely be made by employers, Dwayne. She said that to you, Dwayne. Right, Jackie has said, go get it, girl. Happy for you. And you know what? Yeah, shout out to you. We promote that.
Definitely.
Right, Michelle has said, conforming spreads wider than just work interviews. People conform daily. Dwayne is being very ignorant to that. Yeah?
Doesn't make it right. It's the problem. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah. Shantae has said, yes, Rosa Parks, but I bet you used to sit at the back of the bus. Yeah. Right, cool. Right, Jackie said, but Dwayne, we don't have a black community whatsoever. People can't even boycott American football in support of Kaepernick.
That's coming. That is coming.
Rosa had black people backing her who boycotted buses.
And Kaepernick has got the same, it's happening, it's slowly taking form. Let's not pretend that it's not happening because it's happening.
Sorry, what did that person just say? Can you read that back again? What's it gone?
We don't have a black community whatsoever. I don't know about that bit. Black people can't even boycott American football in support of Kaepernick.
But
Rosa had black people.
I think what he's saying is in terms of like maybe
there's no solidarity
and so on.
But that's my argument.
Some players
exactly.
That is my argument.
And that's the argument that's being made.
That's my argument. So I don't understand what you're trying to say. At the end of the day,
I think it's a she, by the way.
Oh, sorry, apologies. But Kaepernick for me, yeah, started with a one man, yeah, and it's slowly taking form, slowly, yeah. At some point, it's gonna stand where there's gonna be a boycott. It's coming. It's coming, and I can't wait for it to reach. But it's coming.
Dion has said, why is it that when Marlon or Craig use the if argument, it's shut down because it's not real, but Darren and Dwayne can use it to make a point?
Please elaborate where I've used if.
How has that happened?
How have I used if?
Just saying.
Dion, please come back in and let me know where I've used it if. Cause I ain't done no such thing.
What if?
Can I say and
you haven't said the ifs, man. Come on.
Give me an example.
I'm not saying
if we all done this and stopped conforming, then it would be.
Because that's a fact, isn't it?
It's a fact.
Great.
Please. Don't say facts when it's not facts.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Just take that.
Okay, I'm going to ask
take
you
that first.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to say so. So, yeah, if we all decide that we're not changing, what happens, Craig?
What are you talking about? Changing for what? You have to give it to put it into an example.
We will decide that we are being who we are.
In what capacity? Put it into an example.
Okay, we all decide we're not going to be taking our parties out of here. We all decide that is it. We're all going to get parties and we're not taking them out of here. Do you then think when none of us are getting employed?
Listen, I think you just use numbers, yeah? You use numbers, yeah? I think you guys will find in some situations, they'll just say, okay.
So you think it'll be an all-white world and no black people have
right, you're saying world. Yeah, and that's why
we're breaking down to this country.
That's why
we're breaking down to this
country.
country. Do you think it'll be an all-white world, all-white country just working and the black people have a job?
This is what I'm trying to say.
Of course it wouldn't be because human rights then come into play.
You've mistook my point straight away. Yeah, I've told you that this parting thing only comes into cases in certain jobs, certain places. So you're saying all over the England and all this. No, listen, you can go and get certain jobs. I was going to say I could have a party, I wish. But yeah, listen, you could you can go and get jobs and all of them things. I'm just saying that in certain roles, in certain mediums, in terms of avenues that you have to work.
That's understandable.
So what you're saying in terms of your example for that, they will say bye-bye. Yeah? That's the point I'm making. I'm not trying to say everyone must take out their parties. Yeah, please, bear that in mind. Let me just read out a few, yeah? Right. Diana said, yes, Marlon, people need to see diversity for it to be attainable. Yeah, that was on the point that she made before. Jackie has said, integration actually set black people back by a long way and the UK followed suit. Separation was for the best.
Please elaborate.
That's a very interesting point.
That's a very interesting he said point. Something similar, and not that degree. So I'm interested.
I kind of understand where that person's coming from. Was that he? I don't know where that person's coming from.
I would like her to elaborate
because, like, I was on the way. I was watching on YouTube in regards to conforming in the working environment, and there was a test that was carried out. It's called an Ash test. Yeah, the person who designed the test, his name was Ash. Surname, I don't know, but anyway, and it had 5 people. Yeah, now there was only one person who was actually the case study. He was honest, genuine. The other 4 people were obviously in the test. They knew what was happening. Now, those 4 people basically had set answers to the questions. So literally, it was just a simple question as, how long is that line? How long is that line? How long is that line? Yeah. Now, the 4 people all gave the answers. Yeah. Now, the person who is the subject test, he obviously can see the line, but his answers were influenced by those around him. So I think what that person is saying is when you integrate, yeah, you get influenced by the integration. Do you know what I mean? So that's where it's affected black people.
Okay, I get that. I get that point. I was thinking I was holding it, which is interesting. But yeah, I actually do get that. I don't like agreeing with you sometimes. Real talk. I'll just be honest. At least I'm honest. Right. Michelle said, my point, Dwayne, is that standing up for your right is one thing and choosing to conform to today's normal society is another thing.
Normal.
What is normal?
What is normal?
What is normal?
That's the problem, Michelle.
That's a horrible word.
Right. JW said, this is William J. Silver. Big up William J. Silver.
Hi, guys.
Listen, big supporter of the show and we try and do that. He said, conforming, never. Yeah. And I'm going to challenge you and say you're a liar. Yeah, because really and truly, like I said, I'm not trying to say he doesn't mean that. I'm sure he's probably related it into what we've kind of been speaking about. But the reality is, we exactly. And it's just about it's about the limits. And I'm glad that you've at least agreed to that.
I said that before. Yeah. It's about where to draw the line. That for me, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line?
Right. Angie E has said, conforming has got us exactly where again? Question mark. Yeah. I'm going to call you Nugent. I can't say the name properly. Real talk. She's saying, Jackie, I hear you, but we need to unite and come together. Yes. What legacy are we leaving for our young kings and queens?
Listen, right. Martin Luther King said, that he led his people into a burning house. Yeah. And I took from that he's put us in a place where we are fighting to be accepted. Sorry? Yeah. We're fighting to be accepted, where we're never going to be accepted. And that is a problem in itself. If we're never going to be accepted, at what point do you decide, you know what, enough is enough, I am who I am?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me read out a couple more. We're going to have to start wrapping this up. And it's so nuts because sometimes
we can continue.
Yeah, you want to continue and you want to get to a point where you find a resolution or everyone says, all right, cool, this is how it is. With us, it will never, ever be like that because, no disrespect, I might alter some of my ways of thinking and take some of your points on board, but I don't think it's going to be a full fold like, yeah, we're all on the same page.
I don't think it should be like that. I just think it should, as long as it opens your mind to accepting another point
difference
of view.
Of opinion, yeah, 100%. Right, I'm going to read out a couple more. Right, Jackie said, I get you, Dwayne. You have a very progressive and optimistic mindset. However, if you notice, black players didn't nil with Kaepernick last year. Now he is jobless. If in solidarity, it would have worked. If it wasn't, I don't know. I think she's saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. He is jobless, but I think he will be employed. And for me, he has made a point and he's made a stand. And players are now backing him. And I feel he will get a job again. Yeah, and I feel that his point will be made now. He will be remembered and people will start taking note of, hold on a minute, why am I standing up? Why am I representing this flag? At the end of the day, it doesn't represent me.
And once again, it's not just a black argument. It is an argument against whoever is having to conform in a society where they shouldn't have to conform. Yeah, like, you're right. We all have to conform in some way or some form. Like, you might have to get on the bus when you don't want to get on the bus. Some people might say that's conforming. We all have to conform. However, people need to realize we need to be trailblazers. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
Wicked.
And that is the reality.
Wicked.
Yeah, I'm going to say wicked, but, you know, and I just think, you know, it sounds good. You know, there's no doubt about that. Let me just read out a couple more. Yeah, and then we're going to wrap up. Right, JW said, sometimes you can play the game to get ahead, but once you make the position, you just be yourself. But other people just stay in the role of conform. That is also true, you know. Yeah. Bianca said, policy is made because of protest. A policy isn't made if someone hasn't said there is a problem that needs changing. That's a good point. I think that's going back into what Dion said in terms of the protesters. Yeah, comment. Zanaya, I hope I've said your name right. McQueen, full government. Craig, except that some of us, Zaina.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Zaina. No, just Zaina. Craig, except that some of us are non-conformists, and I do accept that. And like I said, if I accept it more from someone like Dwayne, for example, where we can be at loggerheads about it, but I can get it more because I can visually see it. I know that there isn't conformity there in terms of or having a reliance on it. So I have to respect it.
And I'll say that for me, obviously, growing up and getting older, and obviously where the work I'm doing, I'm having a position where I can do it, and it's a bit easier for me. I don't know where I would be if I was in a different position. I can say that, but at the same time, my maturity has put me where I am.
Yeah, 100%. That doesn't mean I'm done.
I'm not saying
that.
That doesn't mean you're dumb. Is what I'm saying.
The man's kind of prepared positions. Like I was like, oh, see what man's saying? Hold on.
Man said it doesn't mean I'm dumb.
By him calling himself mature, that doesn't.
Yeah, but I thought we was in a comparing mode. I was just like, nah, let me just put that straight, quick out there. Right, listen, we really do have to. We do have to wrap this up, guys. Thank you guys for all your contributions. Really appreciate it. We're gonna get the last kind of wrap up points from each person on the panel, and yeah, we're gonna call it a day. You guys as well. Just before we do get into this, very important. If you have enjoyed it and obviously kind of got involved and whatnot, tell people about it. Share it out. We're not just trying to become big. Listen, you know, I ain't gonna have no Oprah show or nothing like that. It ain't gonna be that. Innit? But we're four black guys doing something was quite positive and bringing awareness to certain issues and different topics, and we just want to get people involved, and we have fun with it as well. To be fair,
and we enjoy more when you guys are involved at the end of the day. It makes the conversation a lot more open and interactive.
Your participation is definitely key. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, no kumbaya thing. Right. Rakes, final view.
One of the questions was where do you draw the line on conforming? Now, during the conversation and maybe before, I guess my line would have been on, you know, removing the line from my head. I don't think it's right to change your personality or, you know, what you believe in and what you truly are in a workplace. But I think if you need to get your foot in the door, then by all means, if you need to make alterations, then do that. As long as you're happy with the person that you're being, the person you're portraying, and you take that into the workplace, then, you know, I think just do your thing. Go and get yours.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before,
hey, you're so immature, man. Yeah. Allow it, man. Man's not hot, innit? Carry on.
It's cool,
Go on. Idiot.
You know what? It does say grown ass men.
Yeah, he's let himself. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry. Like I was saying before, be a trailblazer, man. Be a trailblazer. We are living in a society and in an age where protesting is rife. I'm not just saying protest for the sake of protesting, but conformity should be a thing of the past, in my opinion. I think you need to try and be the best you that you can be. Now, if that means wearing a part in, knowing that you are professional and knowing that you are more than capable for the job, then by all means stick like that. You will get somewhere. It's not everybody who's going to shun you and turn the door in your face. And also think about what you're teaching the younger generation. What do you want the younger generation to see? Do you want the younger generation to look at you and think, do you know what, that person just bent over when he was told to bend over? Or be somebody who had substance and backbone. Don't conform if you don't feel that's the right thing for you to do. That's it.
Yeah, man just stole my line. Be the best person, be the best version of yourself in it. I don't think conforming is obviously that. What I would say though is, yeah, I'm just waffling in it. Yeah, not gonna lie. But
Finish now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish. I'm gonna do the rates.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, let me take over, bro.
Right,
listen.
Take the back.
In regards to my final point is about, I think you have to accept in certain avenues that if you choose to go, you have to accept that unfortunately in this horrible, cruel world that we live in, there are going to be situations where if you want to get to where you need to get to, I don't necessarily call it conforming. I might be just being kind to myself, but you might have to manipulate a situation to make yourself an opportunity. When you get that opportunity, take it. And especially when that opportunity, and when I talk about opportunity, I'm talking about, you know, in employment now, I will do whatever it is that is absolutely necessary to provide for my family. If anyone wants to say that I'm a letdown to them for that, pay my bills. Yeah. That's all I will personally say. But at the same time, I do agree with these guys as well in some sense in terms of stand up for what you believe in and all that jazz. That's brilliant. And listen, when you're ready to... Why are you... Come on, man. I'm trying to wrap up. I'm trying to wrap up. Trying to wrap up. Yeah. It's provocative, but it is 100%, but it's my wrap up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're talking about stand up and blah, 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 like instigate that change in it. Like don't just Bruv, I'm not talking to you, though.
I said her. I said her. I didn't ask you anything. I didn't say
I'm just giving my final viewpoint.
I didn't say
No,
her.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's about more than just talking about these things. Let's see some action so I can jump on board and change my mind totally.
Alright guys, I'm ready to talk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my time. So sorry Rix. For me, we gotta take note of what's been happening before us. You've got to look at the gay community. You've got to look at the religious people that wear hijabs. And so these people have had to be accepted because they refuse to go any other way. Yes. So the country as a whole and the world, I say, have had to accept them for how they are. Like as a young black man, maybe not so young, but as a black man growing up, we've had to make adjustments and so forth. And as I've got older, I've decided I'm not making these adjustments anymore. I personally lost a job because I refused to conform. It's worked out well for me. I'm living well. But at the same time, I refuse to conform because at the end of the day, it's my belief. If I then chose to conform, I'll be living a lie as far as I'm concerned. And I feel that we need to understand that we are who we are and we must stick by that regardless. Unless, obviously, you're just out on the street where it's a different kind of situation. But, yeah, that's it.
Sorry, I know we're wrapping up, and this has nothing to do with the show or anything. But I'm gonna be posting a lot more stuff for stuff that I'm involved in terms of donating money and raising funds for Dominica. So I know this isn't really the platform, but a lot of my family are out there, and there's a lot of issues out there, and I know there's problems in other countries as well, but I'm not from them countries, so.
For fuck's sake!
No.
Bruv, listen, you had my heart for a second.
No.
And then you just said F everybody else.
Now listen, love and donations and all of that for them, but they're getting a lot of help. And Dominica is a very independent country, and they're not getting a lot of help right now. So,
guys,
if everyone could donate and help out, thank you.
Big up yourselves, man. Yeah,
Big.
Peace.
Also, guys, feel free to continue your comments after the live show because you can still comment. All right,
And share the
and we will try and we will respond to any comments after the actual live stream. Take it easy.
It's easy.